The TikTok takeover is real, and now brands are using TikTok as part of their wider media strategy. Jordan Michaelides from Neural joins me now. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks for having me.
Now, can you talk me through how brands are using TikTok for their broader strategy?
Well, it's multifaceted, but the reality is most people have started influencer first. So it is an influencer first marketing platform. But some that are a bit more clued in are going whole hog with creating profiles and I guess creating more engaging content over long term.
Yeah, it's such an interesting concept. Obviously, this is really a new world that we're entering when it comes to marketing strategies. Can you talk me through the algorithm and how that all works in terms of targeting, I guess, that market that these brands are trying to get to?
Well, no one really knows. It is the classic case of being a black box. So everyone's got their views on what the algorithm actually is. We've found that it knows more about you than you often know about yourself.
Yes.
And it's almost a bit, I don't know if you've used TikTok, but it can be a bit scary. You like a few posts and then all of a sudden it's just feeding you the stuff that you know and love. I guess the main thing that it has above all the platforms is probably the demographic focus. It is Gen Z focus. The algorithm in and of itself is incredibly accurate. There's also the fact that because it's video first and it's got this cross-pollination element, it is really, really easy to remix and make new content on top of already existing content. Whereas a lot of other platforms like your Instagrams, your Facebooks of the world are very curated in comparison. So it's really fast moving because of those main factors, I'd say.
Yeah, and can you explain to me how brands are actually, I guess, placing their product or goods and integrating that into the world of TikTok? Because obviously we know it initially is a really fun video platform, but how do we twist that into this great marketing strategy?
Well, the main thing you have to be is agile. That's the main principle we've been able to build with brands. There's obviously campaigns you can do seasonally where you hire influencers essentially, use that and put some paid spend behind it on the platform. Their ad platform is really, really early in terms of that, so it's still not quite figured out, we've found, in comparison to, say, your Facebooks of the world. But the best examples we've seen, and you probably have seen it yourself, the sea shanty sort of meme that went through the internet, that was probably the best example I've seen of brands being agile and moving with the platform. The likes of Arby's and some of these global brands are able to pull, I guess, some of the content, make their own music and songs, and then pull people into their own brand sphere doing that. So we found that's probably the best way to do it.
Yeah, and so we are seeing a pretty big success or strike rate with some of these approaches.
I mean, the organic reach is just out of control. In comparison to other platforms. I think that was one of the main things I wrote in a recent piece on a PR platform around how PRs can use it, and organic throttling on every other platform is a real thing. I think on Instagram you get to see 5 to 10% of your audience, whereas TikTok it's unlimited.
And do you think because, I mean, compared to Facebook and Instagram, TikTok is still really emerging in a lot of ways. Do you think that this is only set to escalate and this is going to be the way?
Yeah, I mean, it's the Wild West.
Yeah.
I actually met with a talent manager today, a fellow talent manager who was in PR, got into the Instagram influencer space, and we were just talking about TikTok. And she felt that it was sort of 2013, 14 when Instagram first kicked off. PRs weren't exactly too serious about TikTokers, or sorry, Instagrammers in this case, and it's the exact same thing. Lots of seasonal stuff, very little in between, but it's slowly picking up as each month and each quarter goes by. Yeah,
it's really fascinating to watch its growth, I guess, in this field. Can you talk me through, I guess, the work that you guys do at Neural, how you come into the picture on all of this?
So the agency originally started as a podcast agency, we then expanded into full service digital and now focus on challenger brands, and we've got this specialty that is focused on TikTok. We cover creative, media, and the talent side of things. So we actually manage talent. So it just means that when we go to brands and say, hey, we can work on this creative account with you, we've actually got the media assets available on the platform to help push initial, I guess, followership, engagement to someone's profile. So it just gives us a slight edge by managing that talent and being involved in everything to push people in that direction.
And talking about the demo,
Yeah.
I mean, is there any how much crossover is there with Instagram? Why would TikTok be better, I guess, when targeting that specific demo?
Well, it is definitely Gen Z focused.
Yeah.
Like, it's dominant. I'd say we were trying to actually, my producer and I were trying to look up stats earlier, because they're very, very, ByteDance are very, like any Chinese tech company, they're not willing to show much information. So we're still not clear as to what the percentage is, but we think it's around 70% being Gen Z.
Okay.
The vast majority then being millennials after that, with like 5% being boomers and other generations, Gen X and so forth. Okay. So yeah, it is Gen Z focused, but it just means that if you're a brand that can focus on that demographic, particularly B2C, you really should be there because it's underpriced. It's, like I said, the Wild West, and there's just a lot of opportunity there.
Yeah, and in terms of platform development, it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Very interesting. Like I was saying to someone the other day, a brand in a meeting, 3 months ago, they just hired creator sort of strategy support in Sydney in TikTok. Previous to that, I was speaking to someone in Shanghai.
It's incredible, isn't it?
So yeah, it's very, very new. Very new.
Jordan, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been great chatting about this.
Thanks for having me.